Hello everyone, it's DuckFader07. Today we are playing a Yawgmoth combo and the Samwise combo, however you like it. Okay, so this I like both of these decks, Yawgmoth and the Samwise combo, and I really like how they play together. So I really wanted to make my variant of this build that tries to utilize both Yawgmoth and Samwise maximally and be able to win on both combos. In a different games. So I think I spent a lot of time on this list and played a lot of games with it, and I think I found a list that I'm really satisfied with it. I really like, and I think it works well. Okay, so to utilize both of these spells, I have this have to use some compromises. So cut some of the tutor spells. So I'm now with the 3 Chord of Calling, and my other tutor spell in this build is Ranger-Captain of Eos, getting me Young Wolves for the Yawgmoth, so I don't play the Strangleroot Geists. But also getting me Cauldron Familiar and Viscera Seer, which combo with my Samwise Gamgee. So in this build, Ranger-Captain of Eos can get me both pieces I need to either combo with Yawgmoth or the Samwise, so it's very good. Also, this build uses the Collected Company. I think this card is very good again in the Scam matchup, and it improves the Scam matchup, which is very hard usually for both of these decks, both Samwise combo and the Yawgmoth. So the Scam matchup is hard, but having Yawgmoth in deck, 3 of them, in the build with Collected Company give you 7 of these 4 mana cards, which can really easily turn around a lot of games against Scam. Also, for the same reasons, I have a Skyclave Apparition in the main one-off, the solution for the One Ring in the main tutorable solution, which can also get rid of the Bowmasters or Doughty Voidwalker or Scammed Grief, which can be very useful when you're playing against Scam. All of this give you little points in the Scam matchup. Also, Bowmasters very useful there too. And Chord of Calling, but I also dedicated some sideboard slots to it too. We have 2 Celestial Purges. I have another Skyclave Apparition, and there are some endurances, Havar Might for possible moon solution, and one of Burrenton Forge Tender, tutorable with the Ranger-Captain of Eos and the Chord, of course. So that is it. I will now go through the league and see how it performed. Okay, so this is match 1, game 1. I played first, and my opponent played Thran, and they went for the mulligan on 4. That is pretty normal for Thran deck. I kept a good hand playing first, having turn 1 Delighted Halfling into turn 2 Grist. Okay, so opponent started with Expedition map, and I top decked Boseiju in this situation, but I really wanted to resolve the Grist as soon as possible and just go start making the insect tokens to be able to attack my opponent. Then I went for the Boseiju, killing one of their Tron lands, preventing them from getting the Tron early. They played one of their Tron lands and used the Warping Veil to kill my Delighted Halfling. I was okay with this. I played my Bowmasters and just continued plussing the Grist. Then I get the Halfling with the Chord, hoping to find a land to cast a Company or Yawgmoth next turn, and I did get it. But yeah, the replay here is not good. Something happened with the replay, and it just doesn't show that I played this Wooded Bastion, and it can't process me playing the Company end of turn. My opponent played Wormcoil here, and I did play the Company. Actually, I didn't forget to play the land. There's something wrong with the replay. So I played this Company end of turn. I find the Samwise and Cauldron. On my turn, I played the Yawgmoth and ended the game. That was it. Okay, so unfortunately, replay is not working there. So let's check out the game 2. Game 2 played second and had a decent hand. There is again a Halfling and a Grist in turn 2, but now opponent is playing first, and they kept a 7-card hand, which is significantly better than the last game. Okay, so I went for the Halfling, but my opponent exiled it to significantly slow me down. So I just went for the Bowmasters, but they had a natural hand, a natural Throne from the hand, all Throne pieces. So also turn 3, the One Ring. My hand was good, but just wasn't able to keep up with the very, very brutal hand from the opponent. And this game just quickly ended. So we can now go to the next. And for some reasons, the replays for this match are not working properly. So let's just check the game 3. Again, mulligan to 6, but pretty decent mulligan. Again, a same start in all 3 games. Turn 1 Halfling. Turn 2 have option either Captain or the Grist. So I go for it. I find a shrine here and this time decide to go for the Ranger-Captain of Eos, start attacking opponent. Also getting top decking Yavimaya and getting the Cauldron Familiar. Having a Chord in my hand. I top decked a Samwise, and you will see how easy it is to actually combo here. I played the Yavimaya, get the food token from the Samwise. I had the Cauldron Familiar which I previously tutored. And now I play the Cauldron Familiar and have enough mana to go for the Chord, find the Viscera Seer. And the opponent has the Relic of Progenitus, but it doesn't do much because I have multiple food tokens and I can respond their trigger with multiple times, activating Cauldron Familiar if needed. And I just combo off in response to their Relic trigger, so that is the game. Okay, that was all games in a match 1. Let's go on to the match 2. Really, really easy in a lot of games to combo off with this Samwise, and that's really what I like about it. Okay, so this time I decided to keep a one-lander against Burn. They started with a suspended Riftbolt, and yeah, it was kind of a risky keep. Didn't draw a second land. I just played the Samwise. Opponent decided to go all face. But yeah, kill the Samwise. Samwise, they probably know it's too important to not kill it. And still, I did not get land, but just played Cauldron Familiar as a chumper. In this situation, opponent plays another creature, getting me Temple Garden in the hand. I chumped with the Cauldron in process. Had a shock in there. Played a double Young Wolf as a blocker. And again, you will see how easy it really is to combo off with this Samwise. I top decked Samwise and had 3 creatures and 1 mana to go for the Chord, get the Viscera Seer, get the food token, and then get the Cauldron into the field and combo off with 1 life against Burn. So very cool win, very, very cool win. And let's check out the second one. Okay, yeah, the Samwise combo is, in my opinion, just very, very cool and easy to do. If you can draw the pieces, of course. I kept a slower hand this time with a Forge Tender, but no white mana. Top decked another land, it was still not white mana. I top decked Young Wolf, which who was a very good blocker at the moment. Also got another land from the guide. So now I was able to have the 2/2 Young Wolf as a blocker. and the Grist creating me chompers. So now I play a Collected Company, putting a Zulaport and another Yawgmoth on the field. Not ideal, but they did have to use a card here to get rid of the Zulaport, and I still had the blockers for their creatures, so it was a pretty good situation for me. Now I went for the Samwise, uh, creating 2 food tokens with the Goose, immediately cracking 1 for 3 life, and now this game was pretty much over, because my opponent was stuck on 1 land, also had 4 Tender and multiple food tokens, so that was it. Okay. That was it, match 2, so let's check out next one. Okay, so that was a pretty slow hand, just 2 Collected Companies. I decided to mulligan, and the mulligan was pretty good. Halfling, Bowmasters, Company, again 2 companies, but now with some action before that. I was playing against a Scam, as I said, very common matchup at the moment. Probably a little bit too common at the moment. I went for the Bowmasters. I had a feeling my opponent has Bowmasters, but when they played Ragavan, I was happy to kill their Ragavan and let them kill my Bowmasters. I think this was decent trade. Creature for creature. Okay, so I went for the Familiar here. And now I'm missing just Samwise here to try to do actually the combo. So I top deck a land here, and that's when I decided to immediately go for the company. Uh, Company gave me Grist and the Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave Apparition I put in for this matchup, and because of the One Ring, it helps me get rid of the Doughty, helps me get rid of the Scammed Grief and stuff like that. When I really need a solution for this early, opponent goes for another Thoughtseize, sees my hand, and concedes the game. That was it. Okay, so let's go check out the next game. With this list, I did try to make a Scam matchup as good as possible. I think it's still unfavorable, but I got some pretty good cards in a deck to fight it. I decided to find a basic forest. I had a Boseiju for if they find a Blood Moon, so I decided it's best at the moment just to go for it. I exiled their Doughty, and they went for Thoughtseize plus Nihil Spellbomb. Pretty mediocre hand for my Scam opponent. If you see what they usually do. So in response to their Blood Moon, I went for the Bowmasters. Didn't care much about Moon. I had the Boseiju. So I went for it immediately and casted my Delighted Halfling and fetched another Black Source. So they went for the Spell Bomb. And we were now both in a top deck mode. My top decks were significantly better, which decided the game. Grist is also very good in this match. My opponent finds a Grief, getting rid of my Chord, which was pretty good. But I had my Grief and I had my Grist here, and I was able to go for kill the Grief, but I had the Undying spell, which put me in a kind of awkward situation. I was able to jump with both of my creatures, but decided it's not worth it, so just let the Grist die. Let them use the turn to attack it, and I top decked Yawgmoth. Attacked my opponent, put them on 5 life, and their top deck wasn't good enough and they decided to concede, and that was the game. Okay, so that was game 2 against Scam. So let's check out the fourth win, and then we will check out the defeat in this league. The defeat was also a Scam matchup, so I want to show the win and the defeat. This was a pretty mediocre Scam hand, and in the next match we will see how it plays out when they have absolutely a brutal hand. Another burn matchup, which I feel like it's pretty good for this deck. They killed my Samwise. I had a lot of good cards here. Grist turn 3, Collected Company on the next turn, finding me a Cauldron Familiar and the Yawgmoth. Not exactly what I need at the moment, but I was still on a 13 life, which is a lot. Okay, little by little I advanced my board, and opponent did play a lot of burn spells, but not quite enough. I was still on 10 life, and now I realized I have a lethal same turn, so I sacked all my creatures, and I had immediately I had exactly 8 creatures, so I had lethal with the Grist immediately this turn, and yeah, my opponent conceded. Okay, so let's check out game 2. This was a weird one, definitely. 2 black sources, but I immediately find a green one. This was definitely very important for this match. My opponent starts with the Burn Spell and the Sanctifier. I go for turn 2 Ranger-Captain of Eos, preventing my opponent from attacking me with the Sanctifier. They did use a removal on the Ranger and got the damage through, but I already got into the Collected Company, putting Zulaport and Samwise on the field. Both of these creatures gain me life in this deck. I created a food token and had Zulaport on the field. I was very happy to trade with one of their Sanctifiers. And now I played the Forge Tender, played the Goose to get another food. So this Goose is very valuable in this matchup. Also have the Forge Tender here. So I'm able to create every turn a food token and sack a food to gain life. They don't have at the moment ways to prevent me from gaining life. So this means at this moment, in this situation, this game is pretty much already over. But I play it out, creating my food tokens, sacking the foods, also using Zulaport, Forge Tender, and attacking with my young wolves. Still have enough creatures, so opponent can't really attack with Sanctifier through my halflings. They used their spells, putting me on 13, which was definitely not good enough. And at this point, my top decks are just a lot better than theirs, and little by little, yeah, I just win this game very easily. Finish things up, top deck to Yawgmoth for immediate win, and that was it. Okay, so let's now watch the only defeat in this game, in this league. It was also a scam matchup, which is absurdly often at the moment. I play like 2-3 scam matchups every league, which is really ridiculous. They start with the Tutsis, getting rid of my Grist, and I had a decent hand with Halfling Bowmasters. Yeah, but they had another Totsis which was pretty good. And I accidentally played a wrong land here. Yeah, so this was a mistake. I wanted to play a Temple Garden, so I can just play the Halfling and hold the mana for the Boseiju. But it didn't matter much. I played all this next turn. I had a Goose now to play the Boseiju next turn if they go for the Moon. That didn't happen, so it was a weird game. I didn't have much, but I did have a Bowmasters and a Boseiju in case they go for the Moon, and I was able to start attacking them. They were already on 13, a bit stuck on lands. So they went for a fetch and kill my Zulaport, which put them on 8 life. I had my Bowmasters in deck, which was pretty good at this point, especially against Fable. So I played out my Bowmasters end of turn. Also had a Boseiju to use on their Fable, prevent them from redrawing cards from their hand. I decided against it since I had the Bowmasters, but I top decked the Grist and decided to kill the Goblin Shaman token immediately to be able to attack my opponent for 4 life, putting them on 2 life, and preventing them from using the Fable ability. My opponent did have Fury there, but they didn't have the Undying spell, so they just went Pitchcast Fury and the Goblin Shaman and Fable. So they were on 2, so I decided to go for the attacks immediately, put them on 1. Now they're on 1 life. This means every Bowmaster ping is draw is lethal, every Chord of Calling is lethal, every Ranger-Captain of Eos into Cauldron Familiar is lethal, so really had a lot of options at the moment. Finally decided to use my Boseiju on one of their Kikijiki and played out my Viscera Seer. So I need to have 2 creatures at this point. If I top deck Chord of Calling, I can get. Sorry, I just need 1. If I top deck Chord of Calling, so I can get the Cauldron Familiar and finish the game. Really lot of top decks for me, but still not an easy situation. In this situation, like lot of bad things can happen. They have a lot of good top decks and have a really good board state at this point. I decided to go for Scry, find a Yawgmoth on the top, which I decided to keep. I play it out, put a counter on the Kikijiki, kill the Kikijiki, and play the tap land and pass the turn. So, pretty good top deck for me and putting me in really a much better situation, but still I didn't have anything sold. Opponent goes for attack with both of their shamans, so I just get to kill one. They also played my Goose to be able to get some life. I top deck Collected Company, definitely great top deck at the moment. I find the Bowmasters and the Samwise Gamgee. Samwise providing me 3rd food token so I can um, get anything back from the yards. I had to use multiple abilities here to get rid of the Fable Kikijiki, and I was now able to attack my opponent, put them on 2 life, and they had 0 cards in their hand, and I had a company in hand with this Samwise and the Yawgmoth on the field. So pretty much situation, I can't really lose the game. I go for the company, finding a Grist and the captain, Ranger-Captain of Eos, which found me the Cauldron to combo the opponent and finish the game. So that was it. Okay, I succeeded to win in this game 1, and I already won against Scam in the last round, so I was feeling pretty good about it, especially because hand I drawn was very good. There was a Goose, Samwise, a Grist, double company. All of these cards are pretty good, but my opponent started with Grief. Scam, and the problem with this hand was that they discarded the cheapest 3 cards from my hand, and I only draw the 4 drops, so I really needed to get to the 4 lands to win this game, and I almost got there, but I was stuck on 3, and I wasn't able to find it on time. My opponent also didn't have much. They were on 11 with 1 card in their hand and just 2 lands on the field. I top deck the Bowmasters in this situation, so I was also able to try to kill the Grief. I go for it still. I was feeling good in this situation. I went to trade with the Grief and I succeeded, and I thought like I'm definitely going to win this game. But just that land didn't come. Okay, again, something wrong with the replay. Okay, finally found something I can cast. It was not a good card at the moment, but it is something. So opponent finds a 3rd land before me, goes for the Fable, and yeah, this is where maybe failed a little. I think I would lose anyway, because I didn't get the 4th land for the rest of the game, but I decided to play around the Blood Moon rather than just cast the Ranger-Captain of Eos. I was hoping let's just get the 4th land and win the game. That was the plan. So if I got the 4th land, I had the double company and that will seal the game. So that was my logic. And I decided against going for the Temple Garden and playing out the Captain of Eos. I did get Grist next turn, unfortunately milling a land. So that was kind of unlucky. And the opponent just got a series of good top decks, and I could have got back into the game if I got that land to cast the Collected Company, but it didn't come, so that was it. Okay, let's check out the game 3 in this last match. Okay, in this last game I kept Forged Tender with the double Collected Company. Unfortunately, Forged Tender is not what it was in this matchup because they now have Orcish Bowmasters. Still can protect me from Fury, and it's just a one-off tutorable piece, so it's decent. They go for the Fatal Push and the Bowmasters on Forged Tender, so pretty much they had the ideal hand here. Also, one Totsis to get rid of one of my companies. Still, it was fine. I was able to get both of my basics out and had to remove the Chord to be able to cast the company next turn. But in this situation, opponent had already Croxa in the field. So I just had to cope to find a solution for Croxa. Maybe I should have left the Bowmasters on the field and not kill it, so that would mean they have to top deck a fetch or something to play the Croxa. This way they were able to play it immediately, which was still fine. I kind of just needed one of solutions I have in deck to deal with this. Uh, I I had a lot of jumpers here. That was not a problem. I needed like Yawgmoth or Chord or another company, but I got only a land, and yeah, so I lost this game, which I was really thinking I definitely have a shot to win this, and yeah, okay, so that was it. My next top deck was also bad, and that was the match. Okay, so this is it. I really like this hybrid build, Samwise and Yawgmoth combo. In the same deck, I think very much like three Yawgmoths in this deck. In most situations, I comboed using both Samwise and the Yawgmoth, but a lot of times also did it with Viscera Seer, and I feel like playing these two cards as a one-off feels great. And you can do it when you have so many tutors like Ranger-Captain of Eos and the Chord of Calling. So really like the build, and you still get the all the Yawgmoth combos like Hapatra and Young Wolves. You can easily get a double Undying Creature using Ranger-Captain of Eos, getting the Wolf. So still I have access to the regular stuff Yawgmoth does, but also attacking your opponent from a few different angles, and that's what I really like about it. So that is it. Hope you like the list. Hope you like the gameplay. That is it for today. If you want to help the channel, click like, click subscribe, comment in the video, and that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.